After this video, you will be able to transition between your vocal registers so much more smoothly. After decades of teaching and singing opera, jazz, musical theater, pop, rock, gospel, and everything in between, I have learned that the transition between the two vocal registers is what gives a lot of singers the most trouble. And here's the thing. Number one, it will never go away. There will always be a natural break. Physiologically, there is a shift that happens. So the break is not going away, but you can learn to transition in a much smoother way. The larynx position is very important and the placement. So let's establish two positions. When you yawn, the larynx is way down. When you do like a little Mickey Mouse sound like, hello, how are you today? La, 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 la. The larynx is very high. So we don't really want to go to the very low place. We also don't want to go to the very high place. But knowing what it feels like to utilize those muscles to make it higher or lower is really important for what we're about to do. Here's what happens when you darken the sound as you go down. If you lower the larynx as you go lower, you're going to run into trouble. La, 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 la. And then what you have to do in order to shift over to head voice, you kind of have to make that shift with that laryngeal tilt. Paired with a high larynx, it doesn't really work so well. So what we want is actually to counteract that motion of having this really low larynx when you're low and having a high larynx when you're high. Let's just balance it out. We want a freely moving larynx. We want to keep it kind of in a very consistent position most of the time. So which means when we are on the low end, we want to try to not lower it as much. And when we're on the high end, we're going to have to not raise it so much. So let's start on the low end. Instead of singing low here, which would make it like two different voices. La 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 la. All of a sudden it sounds so different. We want to balance it out and have good resonance all the time. La, raise the larynx high a little bit more. La 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 la. Now what I did, I shifted down. As I go higher, I focus on, because I want to keep the larynx in a very even position, I have to focus on almost creating more space and lowering the larynx a bit more. So as you go higher, think more of that yawn, but not the yawn while you're actually yawning. Ooh, that's way too low. What you want to do is think of the onset of a yawn. And now I transitioned into my head voice. Had I had a very high larynx, see now that flips so much more. So when I'm thinking downward motion, I'm thinking slowly raising the larynx. And when I think upward motion, when it comes to melody line, I'm moving the melody line up. I'm thinking lower larynx as if I'm trying to counteract that. What it does in reality, it kind of equals it out. We don't want that really abrupt shift.
If you're looking for a way to help you stay on track when it comes to singing, whether it's technique, mindset, or motivation, in my online singing school, you will not only have access to all of my pre-created video courses, which includes more than 200 video lessons, but you'll also have access to an amazing community of like-minded people, singers from all over the world who love music. You will also have the opportunity to get personal feedback from me during our monthly group coaching session. You can dive into all of my courses like Music Theory for Singers, How to Sing Opera, Mastering Pop Ballads, the Vocal Warm-Ups Vault, the Vocal Troubleshooting Guide, Back to Basics, Perfect Beginnings, and more. Check out the link below, and I hope to see you on the inside.
When you do that in a slide, kind of on the top like a yawn, if I keep the lower larynx as I go down now, then there's going to be a harsher break, and it's going to make it heavier and a little harder to control where I land in pitch. Higher. So high pitch, low larynx. And as I go down, I think think of this nice little girl kind of sound, or like a little child's like, hello, yes. But we're doing it on the low end. And on the high end, we're doing the very mature sound like, oh yeah, oh, like the beginning of the yawn. Try this out. And I promise, if you're doing this right, you're going to have a much easier time transitioning more smoothly. And above all, what's the most important aspect here is that you have a consistent voice color. You don't want to sound like you're two different voices. Because we can sing here and then we'll sing there. It's like two different things, right? We want it consistent. I can sing there and I can sing there. So we're trying to even it all out. Let me know in the comments how this went. And if you can feel how the larynx position varies, whether you're doing the yawn or the Mickey Mouse or whatever childish sound it is. Thanks for watching today. Subscribe if you have not yet. I hope to see you back the next time. Until then, always keep a song in your heart and always keep on singing.